Alright, so I decided to get started on this Bucaneer 1958. I'm going to get the carburetor silencer off there. You go down to, I'm sure you got Family Dollar around. Go there and they got these little wire cups. I use them to keep my parts all in order. Any given day I'll probably have 3 or 4 different motors torn apart, and so I like to keep the parts straight by putting them in them baskets. Okay, there's 2 screws into the carburetor, and then down underneath here it's the same as with a Sea King. I got a 1962 Sea King. But with the Sea King, you've got the bottom belly pan, and I'll tell you what, getting this screw out right here was a trick. I took the carburetor linkage apart and went through the hole in the front of the pan to get that one apart. The recommendation was to take the power head off, just to get to the carburetor, just take it off. Ooh, got a tight screw. I'm just gonna unscrew the needle on the low speed. I soaked that in some PB Blaster for a while. I don't want to break the needle. There's parts of the packing stuck to the needle. So anyway, I always I don't try to fire up a motor without taking the carburetor apart. It looks in really good shape. Sweet. Okay. Oh, gotta take the gland nut off. I was just about to grab a hammer. I'm just kidding. We'll take the gland nut off, and then the carb silencer should come off. It's really filthy. Raining out here today in Michigan. It's thundering and pretty loud. A couple minutes ago it sounded like something hit the water. I'm right on Saginaw Bay. See the Welch plug on this. Last time somebody worked on it, apparently they didn't have a new plug, so they gooped it up with some orange RTV silicone. I'll show you. Welch plug in a tube. It works, but yeah, I want to do a little bit better than that. Okay. Now we got a zip tie to cut off. There's my end nippers. I don't see my end nippers. I'm going to replace the fuel lines too. That's an automatic. I get my fuel lines from Ace Hardware. And it's actually Oregon brand. It's if you got an Ace Hardware, they probably have a chainsaw section. And I use this. Even says Oregon right on it. Some of the old timers are probably just rolling right now because they are so crazy about all this. Sometimes they flip out if you don't use black gas line. But it's what I can get quick here in my town, so that's what I use. This motor's got a fuel pump on it. I'm just gonna clip that. I wish I could figure out where to put my cutters. Those are too big. Alright, knife time. I always change the gas lines too because sometimes they can be plugged or they could be coming apart inside. You just don't know what's in there. Alright, that should do it for that. I can grab my wrench without knocking the camera over. Pull off the 2 screws holding the carburetor on. My daughter's on her way over. She's coming up from one county south, bringing the grandsons, all 3 of them. So when she gets here, I'm going to have to cut the video short. That's giving me a hard time. Let's see what I can do. Let me try a different 7/16. Oh, that linkage is right in the way. Well, let's pop that out for a minute. Really standing right in front of the way, and there we go. There, that's out of the way. Now I should be able to get to it. Ooh, here's a nice slender, thin 7/16. I got a bunch of extra Welch plugs because when you order a carb kit, it's usually I just dropped that. There it is. Yeah, normally when you get a carburetor kit, you're gonna get various gaskets and different things that you don't necessarily use all the time because they cover a couple different carbs, and generally speaking, and so I just keep them all in a spot, save them up. Okay, then up here we have a spring that you gotta pull off. Let's take some needle nose pliers and grab a hold of it. There you go. Yeah, like in a carb kit, when you get it, you'll have, sometimes I've had 6 or 7 of these, all different sizes, come with the carb kit. So there we go. This is a carburetor from 1958 Bucaneer. And I'll tell you what, if the linkage would line up, you could stick this right on an Evinrude or a Johnson. No, that's the same thing. But this motor only being rated a 5 horse, it's probably a couple different things. It could be, the throat could be a little bit smaller on this. Yeah, maybe an 1/8 of an inch or something to get that other half horse. But anyway, we gotta get all this crap off because we're going to, I guess, I don't know. I was thinking it had a hole in it and they just reused it. You know, I usually take a really small drill bit and drill a little hole in the middle of it. Be very careful. You don't want to go through in a hurry and all of a sudden when it goes through, you know, lose control and jab a hole in the carburetor somewhere. Apparently they just use that to seal the Welch plug in, maybe. I don't use that. I use the Permatex non-hardening. Permatex number 2 non-hardening. It's slow drying and non-hardening. That's what I wipe around a Welch plug when I put them in. Okay, so got this all off. If I can find my drill quick enough. Look at that. What I do is I drill a little hole in it, and then I screw a screw in it, and then I pull it out with a pair of pliers, get the Welch plug out. Just gotta find a drill bit quick enough here. I'm not gonna look too much longer, I'll skip to something else. Here, maybe in here. Here we go. These are nice little sets. I pick them up at Tractor Supply when you first go in. You get that bin full of all kinds of different tools and batteries and whatever. I think I paid like $8 for this. Perfectly fine. Sorry, Mr. Snap-on tool guy, I don't fall into your trap. Nothing wrong with Snap-on tools. I got better things to do with my millions. I just take a small drill bit. Okay, what we're going to do is drill a small hole in here. Just be careful, like I'm saying, once it finally wants to go through, you don't want to be pushing so hard that you jab a hole in it. But there's little ports in there that you're going to need to. The only way to get to them is right here. I've got it on front face camera, and so it looks like the drill's spinning backwards, but it's not. I'm going really slow because I don't want to jab like I was saying. Be patient. I'm having an urge to push and hit that trigger, but I don't want to ruin the carburetor. I hear car doors. Okay. There's that. Now we get a little drywall screw or whatever you got laying around. I'm not like finding nothing real quick here. It's almost like somebody came in here and cleaned up. Now I can't find nothing. There we go. Stick a little screw like this. Just a drywall screw or something. Screw it in there a little ways. Again, don't go too far. You'll end up damaging something inside that you don't know what you're damaging until it's out of there. And then we just pry that out of there. Voila! Welch plug out. Okay, I get my light. Inside you've got there's 4 holes on the bottom. I don't know if you can see them. 4 holes. There's 3 bigger ones and a small one. And then straight ahead of the low speed needle, see that light showing through there? is that. So with that Welch plug out, you'll be able to see it. I mean, clean it out. Okay, so now we're going to take the high-speed needle out. Getting it all apart because we're going to put it in the ultrasonic. Let's see how that looks. Camera doesn't want to focus. There it goes. It looks good. Well, the packing came out with that. Usually I gotta take the pick and dig it out of there. I hate doing that because I don't want to damage anything. Toss that aside. Put your gland nut. Let's see. To remember, the short gland nut in this case goes on the high speed, and the long gland nut goes on top. That was the low speed. So if I forget, you guys have to remind me. Okay, then there's 5 screws we're going to take out of the bottom to get at the float. No, I don't fast forward through all my disassembly like some guys do. I figure if you guys are turning these videos on, it's because you want to know how to do something. I don't assume everybody knows, oh yeah, that's how you do it. One guy, he's really pretty good at what he does, but he skips a lot of stuff. Kind of drives you nuts. I'm going to have to look at the video because I just noticed this. It's an E-ring. I didn't take it off. I don't know if it fell off of this carb or if it's something else. I bought a couple of these yesterday at the hardware. They didn't work for what I was trying to do, but okay, 2 more screws to go. Can't wait to see what the float looks like. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh man. Beautiful. This carb has been rebuilt at once. I am going to reuse this gasket. It's fresh, not fresh, but the fuel doesn't smell all that bad. This is an updated, I can tell by looking at it because I just got one the other day, but this is an updated float. I just did a day. Yeah. I probably am very surprised. It's not dirty in there at all. Alright, oh, I gotta get my gasket material up off of here. I did some impellers the other day, and one of them was a 5.5 Evinrude Fisherman, and I had ordered 2 base gaskets, came in a 2-pack, but I thought, you know what the heck, I'm gonna trace this out on a, I didn't trace it out yet, but I'm gonna make one of these or 2. I bought a gasket punch set and all kinds of other little accessories. I'll show you that real quick. Okay, it's right over here. Wish I had a better camera setup, but this will have to work for now. But I've made gaskets for different motors, but there's different sizes. And you screw them on here, and you whack it with a hammer. And if that don't work, I bought these other things. Let's see. No, I'll have to show you some other time. I don't know what I did with them right offhand. It's just some other things for punching. There's different radiuses that you can select from. And I think it was for leather crafters, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, this carburetor, this has just been done, but we're gonna stick it in the ultrasonic anyway. We go this far with it. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm pulling. I just take a pick and I push that rod out of there. And then your float lifts off. And your needle's on there with the little spring keeper. It looks pretty good in here. But we're going to keep going with it, and we're going to make it pretty. Sorry I knocked you over. I really got to do something about this camera. I got the tripod at Menards. That's where every YouTuber gets all of his videography equipment, right? Okay, because I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic. I want to get all the rubber-based products off of it, because I don't want to damage them. So this goes around your emulsifier tube, or main nozzle, whatever you like to call it. Take that off and put it in the bucket. This is nice and flexible. I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh, you should never reuse a gasket. Well, I live in Eau Gray, Michigan, and you don't have anywhere to go get anything, and I'm not waiting. This needle is going to go in there. I'm going to wrap it in a piece of paper towel, though, so it don't get knocked around. This carburetor has just been done, so the gas smells like it's fresh, but I'm sure it wasn't, because, I mean, what I'm saying is when I bought these motors, it was still snowing a little bit, and I doubt the guy had it out this year, but it doesn't smell the least bit like varnish at all. So it's probably last season's gas. So this carburetor hasn't been rebuilt that long ago. Okay, right here we're pulling the emulsifier out. Be real careful with it. Yeah, there's a gob of snot on it right there. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Sometimes if I touch where I'm trying to show you. Right there, you see it? Right above my dirty fingernail, there's a chunk sticking out of that. Yeah. Right there. That's all it takes when you're putting it back together, is have some dirt on the handle of your screwdriver or on your fingers or whatever. Fall down onto there and plug things up. Okay, now next thing we're going to take out is the seat. That's right here. Take that baby out. Want to get a wider screwdriver. You want to use the widest one you can fit in there so you don't monkey it up, you know. I think somebody came in here and cleaned up for me. I can't find a thing. Okay, time marches on. Because this was just done, it shouldn't. Yeah, it came right loose. Okay, now you're gonna find a nylon seat gasket. Sometimes, like I said, when I touch it, the camera focuses. I think everything's gonna show like I'm turning it lefty tighty and righty loosey, because I got it on front face camera. A little weird spot on there I was just looking at. Yeah, the emulsifier tube is plugged right shut. Must have had a bad tank of gas. There's 3 little holes in here. I'm going to put some air through them real quick. Ooh. I used to do that in school and drive my shop teacher crazy. Doug, stop screwing around with the air hose. My shop teacher was my neighbor. He was friends with my dad. Okay, so we got that out. Blow some air through it and got the snot out of it. Put that in your bucket of parts. Yeah, that float's nice. It's got that M symbol on there. I'm not sure if that's a Mallory, if that's what that means. Anybody knows, tell me. Hit the comments. Okay, so everything's in there. Oh, we don't need a choke knob on there. That could take the paint off of it. That's pretty cool, man, this carburetor. I don't know if you watched the first part of the 1958 Buccaneer saga. I put that up earlier today. But I got 3 of these Buccaneers and a Johnson 7.5. Buccaneers were 58s and the Johnson was a 57. 3 of those and a couple of pressure tanks, and the guy only needed $300. And he drove over an hour to meet me halfway. I'll make sure you get your drillings out.